WNYWatercooler.com.
Coast!
Like 28th overall.
Shut up! Just shut up for a second. Are you all of a sudden...
Can I talk? Can I talk without getting interrupted?
Yeah, but you don't shut up!
It's just business, Coach. Grow up. Put your big boy pants on. Read the New Yorker. Check the stock market.
Fixing it up!
Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain.
There's no talent. Take out Rob Gronkowski. Their best player is a 5'10" white guy. Their offense is a joke. I've never heard of any of their running backs. This guy, Deion Lewis, is a joke. Preston Brown's going to send Deion Lewis into, I don't even know. This team, Thumper, this guy lays wood. We're not the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Did you see our DBs just laying guys out? Like, these guys are, we're going to have stuff. This team, New England has come into our park. They have no idea what they're in for. They have no idea what they're in for. I can't wait till Julian Edelman runs into Ronald Darby after a 5-yard reception and gets just destroyed. This game is going to be a joke. I hate this team. I'm so glad Brady's playing. I can't wait for him to come in here, get his bell rung every time he drops back. I'm so amped for this game.
Clearly. It's Tuesday.
This is a huge game. This is a huge game. This is why we paid $1,000 for season tickets. This is what we've been waiting for since we were 15 years old.
Alright, well, let's start. Welcome back. Welcome fucking back. WNYWatercooler.com podcast. We got Steve, our sad host, and we got Coast, the more depressed co-host.
Way more sad and depressed. This is a podcast low point. And that's saying a lot.
I wouldn't go that far. Well, we didn't do one after 13 seconds, so.
That's true.
Or after the Bengals game, but.
That's also true.
I mean, I'm certainly not shocked, but what I'm surprised about is, like, the national media, like, burying him. Like, because it was a primetime game, is that why? Like you mentioned the Joe Burrow stats. I mean,
I haven't listened to any of national media since the game because there's too many. Zero. There's too many people in national media that are just waiting to bury Josh Allen because they're still sticking to their 2018 opinions. And I have no defense for him. That was the worst performance of his career. All things considered, I know, he had similar stats last year. I mean, the first Jets game, he played just as bad as he did. The first Jets game last season, he played just as bad as he did on Monday night. But this is his 6th season in the league. It's the first game of the year. Like, he was a madman out there. Like, he played so dumb. I don't even know how to describe it. From taking hits to the decisions, throwing the ball to jumping over guys, 8 yards short of the first down. I mean, he was totally unhinged, and that's unacceptable at this stage of his career. And I'm the biggest Allen fan on earth, maybe. And it's just, I'd have zero trust in him until he shows me otherwise now. That's how it was that bad of a game.
Well, welcome to reality. But what I don't get is him talking about how he's like, all off season, he's talking about how he's focused and we're going to concentrate on this, concentrate on that. I mean, he's been saying that for years. And then, like, what was it, like the 9th play on offense? He just decides, fuck it, I'm just going to chuck it into double coverage downfield when he could have clearly just ran for the first or come close to the first down. Starts leaping over dudes when it's not even going to benefit anything.
I haven't seen I haven't seen a replay of the first interception yet because I did hear he could have run for the first, but it was 3rd down and long, I think, for that play. And at the time, I didn't care about the interception until now. The whole game happens and it was just another like insane play. But the fumble you mentioned, I mean, that was a total, you guys like to call him panic boy or whatever. That was the most panic play I've ever seen. Like, he dropped the snap. Just eat it, dude. Like, you don't need to try and run into the line. What are you trying to do? Instead of it being 2nd and 12, you want it to be 2nd and 10? Like, what is going through your mind?
Yeah, like he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't ready for the snap. Hits him in the shoulder. He drops it, picks it up, runs into his own guy, and then gets smashed.
The snap, I don't even care about dropping the snap as much as like what ensued after that. He ran straight into the middle of the line with like his head down. Like there was nothing, no point in doing that. Like just fall on the ball like any other quarterback in the league does. Like I know he makes these crazy plays, and we don't want to like good plays out of nothing, and we don't want to take that out of him. But there's a time and a place for it, and he needs to be smart enough now at this stage in his career to know that when you're playing the Jets, who clearly weren't going to score, you don't need to do anything. I know it's prime time, opening day. He wants to put on a show. He's this big celebrity now, which all this stuff is playing into it. Like that is clearly what he wanted to do, is like put on a show Monday night. And he embarrassed himself big time.
It was, I mean, I would say it's shocking, but it's not to me. I actually just watched the way he plays his whole career, but
come on.
It was inexcusable for us to lose that game. Like Aaron Rodgers goes out, like okay, it sucks that he's out for the season. His career's probably over. But fuck him. I don't care about Aaron Rodgers. He's a 39-year-old. Everyone all of a sudden likes him again. Like why? But the whole thing with him, like, oh, I feel bad for the Jets. What? Who in their fucking mind thought?
If there's like diehard, are you there?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I don't know what's going on here, but anyways, I missed what you just said.
Just that, like, who expected Aaron Rodgers to play 14 plus games this year? No. Everyone's like, "Oh, poor Jets." Fuck the Jets.
Well, if there's diehard Jets fans out there like that feel like about the Jets, like we do about the Bills, I do have empathy for them, but the Jets organization itself, I don't feel bad for at all. You're going to put all your eggs into the basket of a 40-year-old quarterback who, and not heavily invest in the offensive line. If we're going to talk about any positives from this game, it's our pass rush. And Rodgers was in there for 4 plays. We like hit him once, sacked him once. Like you can't put totally invest in a 40-year-old guy who can't really run anymore and not have a good offensive line.
Yeah, we were just all over him. He looked like he looked like he was ready to retire.
So yeah, like that's what they get for doing that. And the amount they've invested now in Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, it's it's pretty sad for them because they're nowhere at quarterback, and they have ton of talented players, and their season's over. Yeah, great. They won their Super Bowl Monday night because we gifted them a game, but guess what? They're going 7-10, maybe. Their season's over.
They're going to have the same. Yeah, they'll have the same exact season as last year. Other than Rodgers, how is that team any better? So
exactly. So
they can never beat the Patriots.
They blew it. They blew it. They blew it with the Wilson pick. And then this Rodgers thing. I think you're just playing with fire when you bring in a guy that old, and you don't surround him with all the. I know they have one good receiver, good backs. Maybe Breece Hall obviously owned us, but
yeah, Hall the dude's nasty, but
so
he's not that fast though. If Benford caught up to him on that that run,
he ran out of gas at 40.
Yeah,
our run D, Poyer, Trey White. These guys on that play. Poyer looks old and slow. White, I don't know. He was there, but how often are we going to give up long runs?
I would say at least every other game.
When was the last time we had a 60-yard run? Like maybe besides Allen. I
think Moss had 1 or 2 in his career with us, I think.
How do you have an 83-yard run? We throw that pick. That was right after the pick, I think, right? We throw that pick. They have the ball at the 4-yard line. I'm like, all right, they're pinned. Next thing you know, 83-yard run. Get out of here.
Losing that game is just so brutal. It's
a disgrace.
Yeah. I don't even really know like offense. All they talk about is this 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. They're not even really doing anything out there. I mean, maybe I'll give them a couple games. Maybe it's the Jets defense,
Yeah.
but I'm not impressed with the way that they used anybody on offense except for Diggs, who's just
Well, yeah, like I don't. It's hard to blame Dorsey or whatever. Like, but where I have a problem is two problems. One, we have all these like short designed like quick passes to Cook and Hardy that none of them worked. I think Hardy had 3 catches for 9 yards and Cook had like 4 for 16 or something. Like none of those plays where we tried to get these fast guys into space worked. So that's number one. Number two, what is with our run pass ratio? I feel like we talk about this every season in games like this. We had 63 plays and 47 of them were Allen runs or passes. In this type of game, we bring in Harris, we bring in Murray. Why are we not pounding the football in the second half? And then we decide to run it on 2nd and 15 in overtime. So Allen gets 99% of the blame in this game. But those are things that I think are fair to question with Dorsey.
yeah, a 2nd and 15 run in overtime. That just it's like you're quitting or something. But we come out the fucking right tackle. The guy is
Problem.
He's brutal. He's in Allen's lap half the plays. Then he takes the first play in overtime. You can't just wait for the snap.
Inexcusable. I mean, it's inexcusable. what
It's
else
not
can
college.
I would have kicked in overtime, honestly. I know hindsight's 2020, obviously, but the way that game was going, you really think you're going to give up a touchdown to Zach Wilson? Then you get the ball back and all you need is a field goal to win. Or if they do get a field goal, you know exactly what you need to do. I mean, I know it's like, oh yeah, you want to put our offense on the field so we can score, we can win. We had 1 touchdown in the game and we were barfing all over ourselves every time we touched the ball. Allen was puking all over himself. Why would you not like? I know analytics would say, oh yeah, you gotta. I would have kicked. I was thinking it at the time, and I think it was a mistake.
I mean,
like
in Madden, it seems to make more sense, but I mean, we also have the benefit of how the game ended, which.
But is how the game ended surprising? We went 3 and out punt. I mean, the punt return, I guess, but that was a terrible punt. The guy fielded it at like the 40. So,
yeah, it was a bad punt, and all they needed was a field goal. I mean, and they have a good field goal kicker.
I just think that the way the game, like, when are we going to consider the flow of the game and like the type of game that is, occurring when we like decide what to do on, these analytic people? I would have kicked. That was the right thing to do. You give them the ball to 25. Zach Wilson is not scoring a touchdown. I mean, they had how many drives in the game? They scored 1 TD, and it was after an Allen interception. So I don't know, man. I just think that was a mistake.
And there's a couple other things with like the not accepting the penalty. I mean, I was saying accept the penalty and push him back 10 yards too. And then when you look at Zerline's stats from like 50-plus yard field goal, it's half of what he is when it's inside the 50.
Yeah, but that assumes they get no yards.
Yeah, or I mean, it also assumes they don't. Something worse could happen. I mean,
dude, the way we lose games, man, we could have somehow got like a defensive holding on a run. I mean, I know it's unlikely, but like there's,
that does happen to us.
Yeah, like the chances. I just felt like that was a non-issue to me at all. I mean, yeah, you push them back 10 yards, they run it and get stuffed. Like, yeah, your chances of them missing a field goal are better, but like, I just felt like at the time it was like, 4th and long, just decline the penalty and don't let anything stupid happen. That's how I felt at the time. I just don't think it was that egregious of a decision at all.
I mean, just losing that game, like even if we rattle off of the next 2 wins, it's still going to be like people aren't going to forget this Josh Allen and McDermott for a while. I mean, we could beat the Dolphins 3-1, but
Allen needs to string together a month of good football for me to trust him again. It's been too long now. I mean, this is like the first game of the season after this whole offseason is about taking care of the ball, all this shit. To do that, I mean, the guy has a mental issue right now. Like, it's not, I just feel like it's not something that's just like, I don't know. But then you look at 2019, he threw 3 picks against the Pats. He had 6 picks in 4 games, and then he threw 3 total in the next 13 games. So he has done it before. Only difference in 2019 was we were way less aggressive in the passing game. So, I mean, I think he threw for like just barely over 3,000 yards that season. But he has shown that he can do it. He's done it before. That's the thing. So I don't know. But this version of him after first game, this whole offseason was about taking care of the ball. And for him to have that performance is just concerning.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit, but with the Jets games last year, it was all 3 of them are basically doppelgangers. So for the media and everyone to just like be freaking out when people like me have been saying this about him for his whole career, I mean, I like to be vindicated, but it's crazy. Like people are like, "Oh, I wouldn't trade Zach Wilson for Josh Allen, and he was never good." And
well, that's what I mean. People want to. He was never good, even though he's thrown for 4,000 plus yards and like 35 TD passes 3 straight seasons. I mean, that's an insane thing to say, but I don't know. I can't. What are they saying? The national media is burying him, really?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are. There was some guy on the betting show on 1520 today that said he wouldn't be surprised if Allen got benched this year.
I mean,
these are like gambling gurus. I don't know. People.
Yeah, well, that's also clickbait. I mean, they need clicks and views and all that bullshit too. But what are people saying about Burrow, who's injured?
Yeah, I guess that he's hurt.
Okay, he's still hurt. I don't care how hurt you are. 14 of 31 for like 80 yards is an abomination of a performance. So
yeah, I don't know, Browns. Man. The Browns defense is pretty good, but I don't think it's that good.
I don't think it's better than the Jets defense. I don't know. It's just like why is the Burrow game? No one cares about it at all. It was buried in Sunday afternoon or something, and we had the whole Rodgers thing too. I mean, everyone was watching this Bills Jets game, especially after Rodgers got hurt.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it is pretty surprising. Burrow, 14 to 31, 82 yards. He had no TDs, no interceptions, 2 sacks.
Well, maybe that's it. He didn't turn it over.
He didn't turn the ball over, which I guess. But if you're just punting it anyway on every single possession.
Exactly. A punt and a turnover are pretty similar. I thought the game plan in the first half was solid too. Like we were efficient. We had like Allen was like 20 of 25. I mean, again, I don't know why we were throwing so much. But his completion percentage was I think his completion percentage in the game was still like 75% or 70-something percent.
It was. Yeah, it was higher than his career average. Yeah, I was never concerned about the game. I wasn't concerned until like the beginning of the fumble. Once that fumble happened, I'm like, what?
Well, I was concerned before that because they tied it before the fumble. I was concerned. I wasn't even concerned until the 3rd pick. Because we're still up 7 against the Jets, and it's like, even the 2nd pick I was trying to defend. Like, okay, well, that's when he threw deep middle to Diggs. But Quinnen Williams was like, hitting him as he threw, and it's like, all right, sometimes I'm fine with like letting your receiver try and make a play. PI gets called a lot. He takes a sack there. It's like 3rd and 20. But sometimes you just gotta take the sack. I don't know. I mean, emotionally,
he doesn't take sacks for like a couple yards either. That's part of the problem too. He has to be like whirling around, and him and Zach Wilson, like they do the same shit where they like turn their back and pirouette. Yeah, Wilson.
Dude, I can't believe
he's brutal.
I can't believe I'm sitting here right now with zero energy or want to defend Allen at all. I mean, this is the first time in his career. I was just disgusted. I
You're
was
a fanboy.
offended. I was
You're
I
a
was
fanboy.
offended.
Well, I mean, that's what happens, you know.
Dude,
One bad game, it's the
dude,
worst thing ever.
it's not even a
By
bad game. He could have done nothing. We could have ran the ball and punted the entire second half and won. I mean, you're basically playing like a JV offense in the second half. Like you're not. You got Zach Wilson, who wasn't even prepared. He was a backup. Clearly couldn't do shit. It was crazy what happened.
and even their touchdown wasn't that on third down, and it
I
was
think
like
it
a
was
miracle.
second.
Oh, was it? I mean that
I think it
catch
was yeah.
that catch was like a miracle.
Yeah, it was an amazing catch. We never lose normal games. Every Bills loss we've had. I mean, think about all our losses the past since 2020. I mean, it's crazy. We've had the Hail Mary, Hail Murray.
Well, the loss to the Jets last year was fairly pedestrian loss.
Fairly pedestrian, but still, it was like, yeah. I mean, nothing like super weird happened. I guess we just played like terrible, super bad. The Vikings loss was fucking bizarre. That Dolphins loss last year was even like we outgain them 500 to 200 and lose. Like, how do you lose these games? I mean, I know when you, I don't know, man. It's just that's why they're so bothersome. It's like all you had to do is not do like this one or two like stupid things, and you just would have won. And I don't know. I guess when you lose super close games like that, it's just what happens. But
So
I
the
don't know,
Raiders
man.
game, it's line. It was 9.5 like last week, and this week it's gone down to 8.5.
Yeah.
Over under 46.5. I mean, the Raiders, they have some injuries. I mean, I think
20.
some of them came back, but Jacoby Myers, who went off, there's no way he's playing this week.
Yeah, I saw the replay of that hit, and he just, I can't imagine he's out there. That looked bad.
He got
That was
smoked.
a vicious one. Yeah,
Well, he sort of slipped or something and got hit,
Yeah.
but
He
he's
looked
not
out
going
of
to
it.
play. The other DN, I mean, that guy like abandoned the team or something, and then he's on some sort of retreat.
Yeah.
And it's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean,
What's that dude's win-loss record in his career? Jimmy G. I feel
Jimmy
like
G?
he's got a. Yeah, I mean, he got. They went to the NFC title game with him, the Super Bowl with him. The one year they were bad, he was hurt. I feel like the dude's got to have like a 70% win percentage.
he's had a very strange career. He's on the Patriots, and then they wanted to keep him, but then Brady never retired. Goes to the Niners. He gets gifted like a great team, and then he can never stay healthy. And now he's on the Vegas Raiders. Very strange career. So his
Yeah. What's
QB
his
record
win-loss?
is 41-17.
Yeah, that's incredible.
With San Francisco, he's 38-17, 2-0 with the Patriots, and then 1-0 with the Raiders. So
The guy's a winner. He's not gonna turn it over. Maybe he is. I don't even know. Like if he throws, I don't know, man. I'm worried about this one big time.
you're worried about the Raiders game?
Oh yeah, I don't think we're gonna win. Not to bury the lead, but
If the Bills lose this game, everyone's just going to buy Sabres jerseys on Monday.
well, they got an elite receiver, they got a elite running back, they have a quarterback who's wins most of the time he plays. We have a quarterback whose mind is just destroyed. We got media people tearing apart our best player to the point where he feels like he needs to go after her on social media. We got an owner who's getting accused of being a racist. It's not good.
Jacobs last week, he was 19 for 48 yards. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
'cause
like
it's his first game. He didn't come back to practice till like he missed training camp.
yeah, and now
Yeah,
they're in
we
West
can't stop the
Virginia
run.
practicing. I mean, it's not like it's kind of a strange thing. He didn't really practice all August, but I don't think he's going to bounce back after a couple more practices.
I think that I think it's very likely he does. Our run D sucks. They're just going to run the ball like a ton. And our quarterback is just, he puts too much pressure on himself as it is. And now it's like going to reach new heights. And I don't know, man. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
It's sad that I had to be defending this team. I mean, I'm thinking the exact opposite. Like, it will take more pressure off of him.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. I think I really don't. I mean, dude.
So what do you think the spread should be? Like 3.5?
No, I think it's fair where it is. I just think the Raiders are going to win. I really do. I hate to say it, but I do.
Well, I think the fan base must think that too, because ticket prices have just been tumbling.
I mean,
last week they were over 200 per ticket, and now I saw earlier this afternoon they were on a Thursday they were 130 a ticket. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful day.
After how insulted we all were Monday night, you look forward all off season to the opener, and you get that.
You are such a dramatic person. Oh my god.
Dude, how can you predict? You think we're going to come out and play like a clean game? I can't. I need to see it before I think.
I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to go out and not turn the ball over and get 300 yards and 3 TDs, but
I think it was an aberration. What are you expecting from him?
I would take his average stats, whatever they are, which is probably like 280.
300, yeah.
I think that it's the Jets. The Jets just own him. His mind is just... I think it's more about the Jets and their defense than anything else. He doesn't trust the right tackle. He doesn't trust Spencer Brown, which is a big thing.
Oh, and that's gonna be fixed this week.
No, it's not. Yeah, Max Crosby is gonna be in his grill, but he wasn't under pressure every game, every snap. I mean, maybe he can look back at some of this tape. I assume they watch the tape, and maybe he'll see. Oh wait, actually the coverage or the blocking wasn't as bad as I thought it was. He just pulled the ripcord way too often. Yeah.
Yep, he did. He really did.
He needs to just trust his blocking to be there. It's not like he's scared to take a hit when he's jumping over linebackers or attempting to. So,
I mean, he wasn't trusting them. I mean, the offensive line was terrible in the preseason. He's not trusting them week one. Well, I'm just saying this is all why he's like not trusting them.
Yeah, what happened to the Steelers? They're great preseason.
That was such a lock. Oh my god! But there's just so many easy layups on the schedule to make money off of. Of course, I didn't, but that's rough. It's a shame. So, I don't know. Where's Gabe Davis? Wait. Where's Gabe? Is Gabe Davis like? How do we not have?
I don't understand what Gabe Davis does. He just runs deep.
He's on the field every play.
Yeah, he never comes off the field, and he gets 4 targets.
Yeah. It's like if Diggs isn't open, Allen just like is absolutely like panicking, and unless it's like a design play to, Kincaid had a couple, but I don't know, man.
It was weird. Like every player had 4 targets except for Diggs.
Wait, how many did he have? 10?
I think
more.
10 or more.
15.
No, he had 10 or 12. I mean, because didn't he finish with 8 or 10 catches?
I think he had like 8 or 9 for 100 and some. I don't remember, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Davis is like just not involved. He had one pass and one good catch in the first half. That ball might have been intended for Diggs. I'm honestly not even sure because they ran the same route. And I don't really remember him. Maybe he caught one on like hurry up, but I don't really remember him doing like anything in the game. He's just not being involved. Nothing like maybe he helped Allen on a QB sneak. I don't even know.
I think that they need. I mean, Dorsey's game plan, it might have been fine, where they're just sort of dinking and throwing it short, left, right, but they need to do something a little more to get the ball out of Allen's hands. He has it. If he's going to be panicking like this, then get the ball out of his hands more. Do more end arounds or
dude. Something. Exactly. We're in the second half. It was 13-6 in the fourth quarter. It was 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. before that third interception. I mean, that's a perfect time to like. Why are we throwing like a freaking 20-yard corner route? Like, especially the way the game was going. I mean, we all see Allen on the bench, and when he gets like those wide eyes, like, does Dorsey not see it? You got to just like dial it back a little bit. A lot, part of being a good coach is being able to like control the personality of your guys.
And what the fuck's Joe Brady
do?
do? What is he doing during these games? Is he around?
I mean, like Allen comes off the field, slams his helmet, and just sitting there like shell shocked. It's like, dude, just fucking. And this is where we have no curveball. We have, we can't come out and run the ball. We can't do any of this other stuff. We can't run a screen. We can't do anything to get chunks of yards.
We can never run a screen. Yeah, I never understand that. Never.
Unless it's Allen doing something crazy is the only way we can get chunks of yards. It has to be on Allen's shoulders. We can't break a long run. Can't do shit. We can't do shit. And I don't know, but we didn't have to Monday night. That's the thing.
That's why. It's 13 we're up 7, 13-6, and I'm just like, they're not going to score a touchdown unless we do something dumb, and then right on cue.
Exactly.
I just don't get how they don't have a feel for that. How it's just like you're saying, that is times when I would actually run the ball more. A punt is so much better. Putting them back inside the 25, inside the 20.
Yes.
It's just really not rocket science. And that's what the problem is with this coach, who's a defensive guy. All he's thinking about is the defense, probably. You got Dorsey up in the booth. Who the hell knows where Joe Brady is? Probably looking at Joe Burrow's Instagram. His only one good fucking year ever as a coach of any sort.
I don't know, man. But
we need Davis Webb back. Webb Simpson, Davis Webb Simpson, whatever the fuck his name is. Somebody to come over and be like,
Matt Barkley?
Hey, Joshy. Yeah, this guy dating celebrities, and he comes out and says, "Oh, I'm focused on football." Well, isn't everyone, motherfucker? Why do you have to specify that?
David, he's never been more focused on football yet. This is the first year where he's on 60 million commercials, cover a Madden, dating a celebrity.
Loosely termed celebrity.
Well, someone
Haley Steinfeld, she came and was giving me a lapper. I don't know what the hell who she is. She's like a C-list. I guess she's somebody.
I mean, I've heard of her. So
you heard of her?
Wasn't she, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I never. I feel like I did, but maybe I didn't. What movie was she in? Like the Marvel movies? I don't even fucking know. Regardless, she. That's probably not even true. But how can he say he's never been more focused on football? He's playing in all these celebrity golf things, which is all fine, but you can't show up. You can't go out week one and look like you're a rookie. Worse than a rookie again. Fucking, it's just.
I mean, it was demoralizing, but I mean, you're really on the ledge here. Don't go to Niagara Falls or don't cross the Peace Bridge in the next couple of days. Holy shit!
I think we get our asses whooped by Cincy. We play like total lunatics against Miami. The only difference was we were hitting on big plays galore. He made enough really good plays to offset the insanity.
Well, so I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Stretch of games.
DeMar Hamlin's going to run out of the tunnel. People that get into the stadium early that like that weird stuff are going to go nuts. We'll come out and be up 7-0, and people completely forget. No one will notice because the game's going to be the 7th best game on Sunday. Well, I mean, we only have 4 minutes left in this podcast, so. Okay. But I just don't. I'm not scared of the Raiders. I'm not scared of Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, maybe I'm scared of Allen getting hit by Max Crosby and fumbling a couple of times, but I mean, the Raiders, they played Denver. Denver can never beat the Raiders. Isn't that a thing? I mean, and Denver is one of the worst teams. They have who does Denver have on that team? They have the rookie that's coming off a major injury. Their receivers are hurt. Russell Wilson is he's cooked. He's rinsed.
Yeah. There was a lot of real bad week one games, honestly. I mean, the Chiefs-Lions game was bad. Those teams looked terrible. There was just a bunch of games.
Cincy Browns game was just horrible. I mean, that was kind of rainy, but
yeah, there's a lot of games that the Bills aren't the only team that played like shit. It was
Eagles looked bad too. I mean, the Giants didn't even play.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Jacksonville didn't look that good. They came. I mean, even the Dolphins. I mean, they never were up by more than one score. Their defense was just getting shredded, and they're getting dink and dunked.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see much of that game other than Hill just running wild, but
yeah. All right. I mean, yeah. So there's a lot of teams played bad, but the national media, they're obsessed with Allen. Everyone has to have a take.
Everyone has to have an opinion, and like you said, a lot of them go back to their priors of just not liking him because they don't want to be proven wrong. I mean, at this point, he had 3 years where we won playoff games. There's only 2 teams in the league that have won a playoff game in the last 3 years, so it's kind of
there's no. I mean, he's.
Look back. I mean, you're overreacting, and just like the national media. If he plays like this for 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, I just feel like it's been a stretch of games now where we've just been so we just haven't been good and smart and whatever the case may be. And I definitely think it's possible that it's just the Jets, whatever. I think he can definitely flip the switch back to. But I think he needs to make it a distinct priority these next 2 games where playing smart and mistake-free football is the priority over making really good plays. Because if he plays smart and mistake-free football, we're gonna beat the Raiders 24-10, and we're gonna beat Washington we don't need to throw for 350 and 4, to make up for what I want to see is just smart, efficient, mistake-free. Take the sack, punt if you have to. None of this bullshit.
So 8 more points than we scored last week, huh? What a great man! You are really just down on this team. It's pretty funny, but Osiris looks like he's going to be a solid right guard. Maybe Bates can play right tackle. I mean, that guy is jack of all trades, master of none. But Spencer Brown, I don't know that guy. I'm not really a big offensive line guy because. Offensive line, it seems to be just always shuffle, but
you don't want to see your right tackle getting thrown into your quarterback every other play either. That I don't know shit about offensive line, but I can notice that.
Well, I'm going. We got a minute left. I'm going. Yeah. We're going to come out like I said. DeMar Hamlin, he'll be running out on the field. Crowd will be weeping or some bullshit. Bills will go up 7. Garoppolo is just going to hand off to Jacobs. What? We don't anticipate that occurring? I mean, I guess we should have against the Jets, although the whole script was kind of changed within the 4 plays. But we're going to win. Bills will win 27-17.
I'm taking the Raiders 23-19.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you at the stadium at 8 a.m. Get your cheap tickets now.
No doubt. I'll be there. Later.
Okay, it's gotta hope. All about my bills like Buffalo.
That's about it from Manager's Corner. Go fuck yourself and the fuck with your show coming up next.
We're going to the playoffs and you're going to take out one of our best players because you couldn't take a hit? That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Shit, I'm all about the bills like Thurman Thomas.
We need an L against Houston. We need as many L's as we can pile up.